Hi, this is Joey Reynolds. It's going to sound like a TED Talk. There was nobody any better than a TED Talk than Wayne Dyer. He certainly captured everybody's imagination with his spiritual walk, and mine included as a friend. I first met him at the Billboard convention in New York years ago in the 60s. He had a book called The Erroneous Zones, and there was another guy that was just coming up. He had just done a television series in New York called Geraldo Rivera. They both were at the same convention. And I kind of stayed friendly with I would say the media part of it, but then I got personal with Wayne, and he was my therapist in Fort Lauderdale. He used to play tennis, and he even one day threw his balls down and went to the office on Federal Highway, opened it up, and helped me, coach me through my divorce. Well, not my divorce, our divorce. It's more than one person involved in a divorce. Wayne coached me on that one, and how to take care of the kids in a spiritual way. He was always a really good friend. I had him on the show, on my radio show on WOR for a number of years, often. And I would do the show from Hawaii, thanks to my friend Dale Parsons, and Honolulu and Maui for a couple of times every year, and Wayne was always there, and he sat through the whole thing. He was great friend. And this last year, he was ill from leukemia. He was friends with Ram Dass, who was a Jewish kid from Long Island that gave himself that name to have this Indian cachet, and he was a metaphysical giant for a while too, if you ever heard the name Ram Dass. Wayne tended to him in a very compassionate fashion for a couple of years, and even fed him. Wayne was a great guy, and he had his own issues. He brought a lady who was locked in a bathroom in Africa when her family was killed. She lived in that bathroom for about 6 months, Maculee, and he brought her to the show one night. He always did good things he did things for the greater good. And I miss Wayne. He's friends with Alan Cohen, and Alan is another metaphysical author who's still with us. Alan gave me this shirt, as a matter of fact. Aloha, Alan. Wonderful, wonderful friends, and they're all tied. We're all together. See, I mean, everybody's tied in if you really look at it that way, and we all are in a connection that is spiritual. Now, you know, Mother Teresa, when she died, there wasn't as big a funeral for her as there was for Princess Di, who admired Mother Teresa. Not as big a funeral for Wayne Dyer as there is for Wes Craven, who is the horror filmmaker. Because there's a great deal of adulation, but you know, the spiritual walk is a little bit, it's considered to be less, more of a fantasy than even Wes Craven's horror movies, you know, which it truly is a fantasy. I mean, it's just the way we are. We don't want to accept the spiritual walk that we're on. It's very simple and difficult for some people. Oprah embraced it years ago. She had a bathtub with candles around it and changed the format of her show, and even had Wayne Dyer on the show, I think a couple of times, and in her Master series. And we're all friends, you know. I mean, all of us. We're all together in this, and we all have been doing our best to move forward and to share whatever we have. We give it away to keep it. That's the whole precept of it. Now, you know, Wayne is gone, and there's a lot of work to be done still, which he has left behind. He has the keys to the kingdom. I'm sure there's a big celebration for him in the heavens. He's going to be well received for all of his goodness. And I miss him. He's my friend, and I will see him again.